For 10 long years, I was the invisible girl, the one everyone picked on. It started in elementary school with a kid named Mark. He wasn't just a bully. He was the king of the school, and his words were law. He called me Four Eyes because of my glasses, Bookworm because I loved to read, and soon, everyone else joined in. The whispers followed me down the hallways. The giggles echoed in the cafeteria, and my lunch money mysteriously vanished almost every day. I'd go home, lock myself in my room, and cry. I told my parents, I told the teachers, but nothing ever changed. Mark was popular, from a good family, and I was just me. As we moved into middle school, the bullying evolved. It wasn't just words anymore. My books would get accidentally knocked out of my hands. My homework would disappear from my desk. Once, during a school trip, my backpack was hidden, and I missed the bus back, causing a huge panic. I spent my lunches hiding in the library, my nose buried in a book, pretending the world outside didn't exist. The librarian, Mrs. Gable, became my only friend. She never asked questions, just slid a new book onto my table with a kind smile. Those books were my escape, my sanctuary. They showed me worlds where the underdog could win, where intelligence was a superpower, not something to be ashamed of. High school was the worst. Social media had become a new battleground. Anonymous accounts would post embarrassing, doctored photos of me. Cruel comments flooded any picture I dared to post. Mark was still the ringleader, now a star athlete, handsome and adored by everyone who didn't know the real him. His girlfriend, Sarah, was the queen bee, and together, they made my life a living nightmare. I became a ghost, shrinking myself down, hoping that if I was small enough, they wouldn't see me. I stopped raising my hand in class, even when I knew the answer. I ate my lunch in a quiet corner of the art room. I felt utterly broken. One afternoon, sitting in the library, I was staring at a flyer for a national science and innovation competition. The grand prize was a full scholarship to a top university. An idea, a tiny spark, ignited in my mind. For years, I had been absorbing knowledge, not just from textbooks, but from every corner of the library. I had taught myself coding, devoured books on robotics, and tinkered with old electronics my dad gave me. What if I could use all this against them? Not by being cruel, but by being brilliant. This would be my revenge. Not a loud, angry explosion, but a quiet, calculated victory. From that day on, I had a mission. Every taunt, every shove, every nasty comment became fuel for my fire. I spent every waking moment outside of class working on my project. I was building a low-cost, AI-powered water purification system for developing communities. It was ambitious, complex, and everyone, including my own parents, thought I was crazy. They saw me hunched over circuits and code, looking pale and sleep-deprived, and they worried. But Mrs. Gable, she understood. She helped me find research papers, connected me with a retired engineer for advice, and most importantly, she believed in me. "Your mind is your greatest weapon, dear," she'd say. "Show them." The day of the regional competition arrived. I was a nervous wreck. Mark, Sarah, and their crew were there too, with a flashy, but ultimately shallow, project on social media trends. When they saw me setting up my humble display, they laughed. "Look, the bookworm is trying to build a robot," Mark sneered to his friends. I ignored them. I focused on my presentation, on the years of silent work that had led to this moment. When it was my turn, I took a deep breath and began to speak. I explained the science, the coding, the potential to save lives. I poured all my passion, all my pain, all my hope into that 10-minute presentation. The judges were captivated. They asked tough questions, and I answered every single one with confidence. When the winners were announced, a hush fell over the auditorium. And the first place winner, advancing to the national finals, is... The announcer paused, and I held my breath. He called my name. For a second, there was silence. Then, the room erupted in applause. I looked over at Mark and Sarah. Their jaws were on the floor. The look on their faces wasn't anger or hate. It was pure, unadulterated shock. They couldn't comprehend how the girl they had tormented for a decade, the girl they saw as a nobody, had just beaten them, had just won the biggest prize of the day. The news spread like wildfire. Suddenly, I wasn't the invisible girl anymore. I was the genius who was going to the national finals. People who had ignored me for years started coming up to me, congratulating me. Teachers who had overlooked my struggles now praised my brilliance. It felt strange, almost disorienting. But the best part was the silence from Mark and his friends. They avoided me, unable to look me in the eye. Their power had been built on making me feel small, and I had just shown the entire school how big I could be. A few weeks later, I was in the library when Sarah approached me. She looked uncomfortable. "Hey," she started. I just wanted to say, your project was amazing, and I'm sorry. It wasn't a perfect apology, but it was something." She told me she was always scared of Mark, that she went along with it to stay popular. It didn't excuse her behavior, but it was the first time I saw her as a person, not just a tormentor. Mark never apologized. He couldn't. His ego was too fragile. But I didn't need his apology. I went on to the national competition, and believe it or not, I won. I got the full scholarship. My picture was in the local paper. The girl who used to hide in the library was now heading to her dream university to change the world. My revenge wasn't about hurting them back. It was about building myself up so high that their insults could no longer reach me. I channeled all that pain and loneliness into something powerful and positive. I turned their hate into my motivation. For anyone out there who feels invisible, who's being bullied or put down, please know that your story doesn't end here. Don't let their words define you. Find your passion, find your library, and pour your energy into it. Build your own success. True revenge isn't stooping to their level. It's rising so far above it that they become insignificant. Your worth is not determined by their opinion. It's determined by what you build, what you create, and the person you choose to become. Keep building. Thank you for listening to my story. Please like and subscribe for more content.